Welcome back to my journey. My name is Annette. Today I'm taking you through the ICU experience. In the ICU, it wasn't easy. We had bad reports after bad reports. Nothing seemed so good at that time. She had so many complications, more so with the breathing, with her lungs. She had pulmonary hypertension, whereby her right pulmonary artery was working so hard. She had leakage in her brain, something of the sort. So the reports weren't always the best. It was emotionally draining, physically and mentally. But apart from having all those dark moments, we also had good moments. We were able to just touch her finger through the incubator glass after a week of delivery. So you could just pass in your finger and you touch her little fingers. Her eyes were still covered, I think, at that time. I remember when we were able to carry her in Kangaroo. This is when you do skin to skin with your child. It helps them to bond the same way they would have bonded when they were still in your belly. So we started that one on 5th of July. We had her for like 30 to 20 minutes because it's always seeing how she feels. When it comes to preemies, they always get exhausted so easily, and which can affect their breathing. But after that first day, we started to have her more often and even for longer hours. But I remember this one day when I was having her in Kangaroo, it started on well, but her oxygen levels dropped. I looked down on her. She had turned blue. Doctors rushed in so fast and they took her away from me. I remember that day I just stood and I looked through the window. I said nothing. And they kept on telling me she's gonna be okay. After they had stabilized her, they took her back to bed. So she slept. She could only feed, and her feeding was done through machines because she couldn't eat through the mouth. But to know that she had always fed well, which is not the same thing with a full-term child, they always had to wear her diaper to know that, okay, now she's drinking enough. Okay, now she's eating enough. They also used to weigh her caca, which is number to her poop, on a weighing scale. So that's how they could tell that she's eating well. And also her development was good, was as the same as the development of full-term child, because preemies always don't eat. They don't like to eat much. And also their development is not always the best. But everyone was impressed with her feeding and her development. Another highlight we had in the ICU, the day she made 1 kg, and that was of 28th of June 2019. That's when she made 1 kilo. So everyone was excited. So when we reached at the ICU that day, the staff had already made a cake for her. In Finnish, they call it 1 kilo kaku, which means 1 kg cake. So we had 2 of our friends, me and my husband and her grandma. So we went in the next room, we cut the cake, we had some coffee time, after which we went back to check on her. So that was also a great milestone. And after that, we were in there hanging on, taking a day at a time. And in all this chaos and sadness, we stayed hopeful. We kept on hoping for the best, even when it didn't make sense. So if you're there, your situation may not be the same as mine, but remember, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. If your mother is struggling with your child in the ICU, or your child is having developmental issues, just know there is always light at the end of the tunnel. Because us, we had bad reports after bad reports. But still we had good moments to celebrate. Every small progress in there was victory for us. The first time also she had her birth, it was on 5th of July. That's when we showered her. But by doing all this, she always had breathing machines and wires and the monitors on her. But she loved it. And for us, that was another victory, that for the very first time, from birth up to 5th of July, it's when our daughter had her first birth. That's a memory we've always carried with us, or those are the memories we still have. So don't give up on yourself. Don't lose hope. In short, in the ICU, we were there for 2 months, after which she was transferred to Children's Hospital in late June. So stay tuned for the transition from ICU to Children's Hospital. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.